Hello everyone, good afternoon, Fatigiwa here. So yesterday I shared an exciting news on my social media platform about my son, asking about his sister when I went to pick him up from school, and he looked around. It was just me. I usually pick them up together, and but then his sister wasn't available as at the time I went to pick him, so I asked another mom, a neighbor, to pick her on my behalf. And so as we were about to leave, my son said out loud, like, "Where's Isma?" His sister's name is Isma, and it was the most beautiful sound that it was the most beautiful voice. Like, I don't know, I feel like I can never get tired of hearing my son's voice because we don't hear it that often, especially in a very quiet, non-prompted situation, because most of the time, so we have to prompt him, or I have to prompt him often at times before he responds to something, or before he has any little conversation. And I decided to, but then I got a lot of messages from people reaching out and asking, when did he start to talk? Oh, my son is talking. I do get that a lot of times, like people asking, oh, my son is talking, he's talking. But I don't know, it's really difficult to answer that questions most times. I have to, examine the question and understand what they mean by talking, because yes, he has words, yes, he's now using those words, but conversations are not there. Communication, yes, we are getting somewhere with communication, and more of prompting also. I do a lot of prompting to get him to express himself, to get him to say something, to get him to communicate. But it is a process. And I decided to share this video just to educate, my followers and people that want to know how we got to this point of him using, making sentence, which is where we are now. We have just random sentence, just like, where is Isma? I want food. Can I have this? This is basically the only words that we have, sentences and communications that we have at this moment. But then, how did we get here? I was reflecting about the whole thing yesterday after he asked of his sister, and then I remembered how we started from not pre-verbal. He didn't have words, and we gradually started building on words. I've shared this several times on most of my videos and on my social media and in my writings too. How we started from words, and we started building those words. So it wasn't like I'm sharing this, to encourage and educate. I know there are a lot of young moms out there panicking, worrying, when will my child talk? When is it going to be? Is he going to talk soon? Is he ever going to talk? And also, you should also know that each child is different. So I am just sharing how it started for us. It might not be the same thing for you and your child, because each one of these children, each one of them have their unique abilities and unique ways of learning, and their unique ways of understanding and communicating. So it is now left to you, the parent or caregivers or the educators, to know how well you can work with your child, or how well your child can learn, and which way your child can learn to communicate, or in which way is the easiest way for your child to be able to use, to learn words and then get to this point of using those words. So that being said, we started basically, as I was saying, from teaching him basically words. So we did a lot of flashcards. Flashcards really helped us a lot. We did a lot of flashcards. So in the beginning, it was just me identifying those words and saying them loud. It was just him, showing not so attentive, but he was learning, obviously, as time went by. So we did a lot of flashcards and book reading. There were so many activities. I did a lot of engaging activities, but basically picture books, flashcards, book reading, these are the things that helped us a lot. And over time his vocabulary began to improve. You can also check in my book, Beginner's Guide to Parenting Autism, where I also mentioned some other things that I was doing that helped us to get to where we are in terms of speech at that period. So as time went by, we were building vocabulary. We started from 5 words. We moved to 10 words, to 15, to 20, and that was how we got to a point whereby he knew so many words. I think by the time he was 5, he had a lot of words. He had over 200 words. That he knows, that like you ask him, you show him what's this, he can tell you what it is, but he doesn't know how to use it. So he knows what water is, he knows what yogurt is, he knows what cookies are, but he never knew how to use it, like to make a request or say, oh, I would like some cookie and stuff like that. So from 5, I think just before he turned 5, I started working with him to get him to use those words. So I will prompt him, I will reward him, and that was how he started to get the understanding of how to use those words. And we, like I said, we are still basically on that stage of making requests, but he's evolving into asking, like, like what happened yesterday. It was really random and it was unexpected. I remember there was also a time before he started making those sentences, and before a time whereby he had words, but there were some words that he couldn't identify or he didn't know. So there was a time that we were using colors to communicate. Like I shared something some time back, where I was having this lesson with my teacher, my Portuguese teacher, and she said every communication is communication. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like for you to just understand, the most important thing is that you understand what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying. So that also means communicating, and I want parents to understand this, because sometimes parents are more after the vocal, the oral, verbal communication of a child opening his mouth and saying, I want this, I want that, can I have this, can I have that? But sometimes we fail to pay attention to those little cues, those little ways that those children are communicating to us. Some parents have children that communicate in terms of, behavior. We say that in language also, every behavior is communication. Paying attention to those behaviors will make you understand and know how to handle or how to pave a way for communication for your child. So at that period, my son used to use colors. So I think it was between the time when he learned the colors, and he was learning colors at that period, and he had just successfully learned almost all the colors. So like he knows, he could identify colors. Whenever we had sessions together, he would be able to show me blue, yellow, red and stuff. But then he had some words that he didn't know, and he wouldn't know how to tell you that he wants that thing. So, and he didn't know how to make requests back then. So normally, like I said, we only had words. So for example, if you want cookie, he will come and he will say cookie. If you want water, all you will get is water. If you want bread, all you will hear is bread. So that was like the first stage. So the next stage was he not knowing how to identify, or how to certain words that he doesn't know how to identify. So let's say, for example, he sees a yellow ribbon or from someone, and he doesn't know that word ribbon, he doesn't know that word, he's not familiar with that word. He would use the colors to communicate, and I found that really interesting, because it did help us a long way. It helped us a lot at that time, because you will only hear him mentioning a color, and as he keeps going on and on with the colors, you get to realize that, okay, so it is now left for you, the parent, to look around and find out what color is he talking about or what exactly it is. And then so before giving it to him, I will tell him, oh, you mean a ribbon? Okay, it's a yellow ribbon. And then I'll give it to him, mentioning the name of that item. And then that was how, we continue to build on vocabulary. But that color phase was it was a period that went on for about a year or two, because it also, it opened doors for more words to come in. So each time he goes, blue, he comes to me and he says, blue. And even when he started to make requests, as at 5 years old, when he started to make, I want or I want, or can I have in a request, he will still have some words that, words are always, there's so many words that I believe that even though he had so much words, there was a lot of words that he didn't know what they are and how to use them. So he will come to me and he will say, I want red. And then it's now up to me to use, to look around and find out what is that red thing that he wants. And then, you have to show it to him and let him understand that, okay, this is what you want, this is the name. If it is like, if it was a glasses or something, oh, he wants red, and I'll show him, I'm like, okay, you want red glasses, here is the red glasses, can you repeat after me, red glasses? And then we practice on that over and over again, and that was how we got them. And this worked really well for us, because even when with other language, because we are learning in a bilingual environment, so I used the same technique and method when I saw that he was falling behind in Portuguese. So I had to use that same method that we were able to use to build words and vocabularies in English, to get him to get more words in Portuguese. So I remember telling his teachers that I wanted us to start with words with him. I wanted him to get more acquainted with a lot of Portuguese vocabularies, so that from there we can now move to sentences. And that is why we are now. We are gradually moving from words. I think we're still in the word phase in Portuguese, because because we don't speak Portuguese at home. We speak English at home. They speak Portuguese in English. So it's always kind of challenging for it was a little bit, I wouldn't say here challenging, but it was difficult for him to communicate in Portuguese up till this moment, when he is now starting to use the Portuguese language. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that the communication sometimes with our kids, we really have to be extra patient. We really have to be observant. We have to find out the best ways our children can learn. We have to understand their learning capacities, and how they're also using their areas of interest. My son is a visual learner, so the flashcards really work for him. And me showing him some videos. Sometimes we show some videos. Sometimes we do a lot of things that I have to show him visual, and for him to see. And sometimes we do, like, sticking some stickers, not too much, but we stick some things on the wall just for him to get to understand, to get more visual, more sight of seeing those words. He also learns by, from sight words. So once he gets used to seeing the same words over and over again, he gets used to using the words, and it becomes easier for him. So I hope this answers some questions for some parents that have reached out to me about, how we got to this communication level. At this point, as at 8, we are still at the communication level. We are not really at conversations. His cognitive level is still a little behind. He doesn't understand so many things, comprehension level too. So we are hoping that as time goes by, he's able to understand some of these things when I talk to him, when I ask him stuff, So it is a step, it is a gradual step that I believe that over time, with constant practice, exposing your child to words can go a long way. You don't know that your child is learning until until your child starts to use those words, and then you realize that, wow, so all these years, everything that my child has been learning, he's actually has them stored up somewhere, but he hasn't been using them. So all you need to be is just continue to show up, continue to do your best in educating your child and supporting your child, and then eventually, inshallah, by God's grace, every other thing will fall in place. So I hope this answers your question. If you have any other topic or any question that you want me to discuss on, you want me to talk about or share on my YouTube channel, I will be happy to discuss that. And I am looking forward to the Autism Awareness Day, where I will be sharing my new poem. Yes, I think I shared the poem some time ago, but I made it into a video. I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. So I hope you will be excited, or you are excited for me too, as I am. So I look forward to hearing of your feedbacks and reading from you, comments, likes, suggestions, and have a lovely evening. Bye.